Okay, welcome everyone to round number 2 of the TS3 Trackstars Championship around the beautiful track of Suzuka. I should be joined by N Spud in the commentary box shortly, but here we have all our entries starting. It's Racing's gone, he wasn't here. I'll just change the time just to reset everything. Actually, we won't do that. Alright, so everyone's in. Everyone's at the right tyre, weight, everything. And off we go for round 2 of the TS3 Trackstars around Suzuka. Sorry about the weird noises, I'm just trying to plug my keypad in. Renegade is here and ready to go. Good work, mate. Nice to see.
Can you hear me now, DJ?
Hello. Hello. Okay. You there, Spud? Okay, while we get all this sorted out, I believe Spud should be able to hear me.
Yeah, I can't hear you from the other end of my screen. I literally cannot hear you.
Let's change this. Okay, hopefully should be able to hear everything now. Okay, so because I can hear Spud, we'll just go from there. But the entries we have for tonight, we have Warpath 360 from WRT, ISAR Benjo, Heathen Pride, Cyric coming off a clean sweep around Nürburgring, NZL Cowboy, Oz Soul Reaper, SS Boy 82, and Renegade 4701. So it'll be good to see who might top this track, because it's a tight and technical track, as we all know. But they're all going round. They're just starting to go round on their flying laps. So we'll see what time these boys and girls can put into the list to see who can get pole. We have an 8-minute qualifying session followed by 2 9-lap races. And as we know previously, we are running the 06 GR2 cars in the Nissan GTR, the Lexus SC430, and also the Honda NSX, but sadly no one's entered by the Honda NSX. But you can see Warpath 360 coming down here into the chicane now. We'll follow him just to see what time he puts in. Looks like it might be a bit of a decent time here. Okay, he sets a 151 flat. So that's a pretty decent time to start off with. Heathen with a 155.2. Benjo with a 155.1. NZL Cowboy with a 53.2. Oz Soul Reaper, the new entry from WRT Motorsport, putting in a 151.1 to put him on the front row of the grid. 0.066 away from Warpath, so we'll see if he can tip him off. We got SS Boy in third, NZL Cowboy. Oh no, Renegade just jumped up into fourth. NZL Cowboy in fifth. Looks like he's going better by 0.1. ISR Benjo in 6th, Heathen in 7th, and Sirik in 8th. It's unusual to see Sirik down there. It looks like he might have had a runoff or something in his flying lap last time round. Oh, as we see him just zoom off the track there as he goes a little bit wide there and he's hit the wall. And hopefully he can get around to put another lap in, because if he doesn't make the checkered by that 2 minutes comes up, he might not make that. As you just see him here, probably runs a little bit too wide, just out of the S's. Yeah, he just gets on the grass there a little bit there, and then it's all over Red Rover from there. Unfortunate for Sirik, so hopefully we might see him jump up the front, but as it stands so far, we've got Warpath sitting in first place. See if he can go better on his time. He comes around the corner. He doesn't. He misses out by 0.2. We'll see what Oz Soul Reaper has to say about this. Oh, unlucky he doesn't come through again. Oh, Renegade with a 0.4 second penalty there, so it looks like he might have one more flying lap. SS Boy as well in third. We'll see what he can come up with. Oh, SS Boy there. Renegade. Unfortunately with a 202.2 there. It's Heathen down here in 7th. Unfortunately with a 155.2, but as we know, Heathen hasn't been racing for many years, back in from the GT5, GT6 days, and as we all know, the I can hear myself, but I can't hear DJ on my end with the mic. Oops. Let's not do that. I'll try and change. Can you hear me now, Swat? Is your audio output on Discord to your phone or your computer or headset or something? We'll try and see here who's gonna make it so they have another lap. Oz Soul Reaper looks like he can. Oh, he does. He goes to the top with a 150.936. Just jumps Warpath. So, wonder if we'll see Warpath try and put in a better time. We'll see if he goes purple through the first sector. Oh, he does. He's up by 0.1. This is going to be a quick time for Warpath 360 to try and pick off Oz Soul Reaper, but as we watch him come round the S's, oh, he's also gone faster. Oh, we are set. Oh, and Sirik comes to the front with a 150.6. Oh, I'm telling you, he is one to watch out for, and if I was these TS2 and TS3 guys, he'd be one to watch out for. So we've got Warpath sitting there, waiting to come round to see if he can pip Sirik for first, but at the moment as it stands, we've got Sirik in first, Oz Soul Reaper in second, Warpath 360 in third, Renegade 4701 in 4th, SS Boy in 5th, NZL Cowboy 6th, ISR Benjo in 7th, and Heathen Pride rounding out the top 8. So we jump back to Warpath as he comes around the chicane. Oh, he's gone better by 0.116. This is going to be a quick time. Let's see if we can watch him come around here. If he gets a clean exit, he might be getting Sirik off the front, off pole position here. So will it be first pole position for Warpath? It is, with a 150.3. That is an excellent time there. He's the next person to watch out for, is Oz Soul Reaper. Can he get Sirik off the front row? This is going to be a quick time. Oh, he does by 0.004. Oh my, ladies and gentlemen. He's done it. He's pipped Sirik to get himself on the front row. Oh, what has he done? Look at him go. Oh, who can I catch? Who's the last one? What's Benjo got to say about this? Unfortunately for Benjo, he's not improved his time there. So we've got Warpath 360 on on the front row with Oz Soul Reaper. Beautiful turnout by the WRT racing team. As we're about to go racing for round 2 of the TS3 touring cars around Suzuka GP. We've got Warpath on pole, Oz Soul Reaper on 2nd, Sirik on 3rd, Renegade in 4th, and SS Boy rounding out the top 5. So this is glitched out. Oh, can't go back in. Apologies for that, I'll be back in there shortly. As we see the red lights counting down. And we've gone green for round 2 of the TS3 touring cars. As we watch them go down into turn 1. Warpath 360 has got out a little bit of a considerable lead here. Oh, there's a red touch in there for Oz. Oh, who's that at the back? SS Boy, let's see if we can catch what happened here. He had a nice start. We'll try and catch Heathen or who. Pun. Looks like he's done it all himself. Where did he go? Lost it there. Mr. Spudley, can you hear me? He cannot hear me. My input is wrong. Yeah, man.
Right, so I'm not being able to get feed from your end on my headset, but I can hear you through the speakers of my computer, so I'm just going to have to be guessing while I'll be doing this. So I'll be having an ear out so I can hear what you're saying and stuff, but I did watch a bit of that qualifying, so I did see that Warpath managed to get himself to pole position, and he's still leading the way in first place. In second place is Oz Soul Reaper, the newcomer to TS3, with Sirik right behind in third place, Renegade in fourth, Isar Benjo in fifth. As we see Sirik coming up, making a move at 130R, and he's made that stick. Oh, he's lost the back end, and he's made a bit of a mess with that. Unfortunately, you can't be able to go side by side through 130R. One of the hardest corners to get around side by side. You need trust from the other driver. But Sirik looks like he made that move stick, but it just caught too much gravel and just caught too much grass there.
Yeah, that's a hard luck there for Sirik, because he started in third there and obviously got himself back up. But Warpath 360 having a considerable lead early on in this race.
Oz Soul Reaper in second place there, with Renegade actually now being promoted up to third place, with teammate from the ISR group, Isar Benjo 19 in fourth place. So it's been some steady results there for the ISR group. It's basically a three-car team, a three-team championship with ISR Intercontinental Esports Racing Group, M&R Racing as well with SS Boy and NZL Cowboy, and then you've got the WRT so far leading the way in first and second place.
Yeah, it's a good turnout for these three teams here. Obviously, they haven't been able to jump into TS2. They might feel they're not like quick enough, so we brought in a TS3 series, which obviously if you have a driver rating lower than B and your circuit experience time is 2 minutes 20 or lower around the Cirque du Spa, or is it 2:21? Either one of those ones.
Maybe even 2:22. So just those that that circulates the Spa Francorchamps in the Porsche 911 and doesn't get themselves a competitive time. Yeah, they move into TS3. But I guess in a way, it's not a bad thing because we see some great racing so far in the first couple of races we've seen at the Nürburgring Grand Prix 2 weeks ago. That was some fascinating racing with Sirik coming out on top, taking the clean sweep. But unfortunately for Sirik, down in 7th place, I don't think his run of wins or podiums is going to be a little bit harder for him now. He's only got about 8 laps to go to try and catch up to at least 5.4 second gap between him and NZL Cowboy.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously it's going to be hard for him to get that time back with obviously only six laps to go at the end of this. But by the looks of it, it might be a WRT 1-2 and an ISR 3-4 at this point. But you never know, something might happen and you might see SS Boy or NZL Cowboy come up into the top 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe the pack down the back there with all the M&R guys, SS Boy and NZL Cowboy, these guys are going to be going tooth and nail between each other, and they're probably going to be holding each other up a fair bit because we did see Sirik was about 5.4 behind and he's now closed the gap massively to about 2.8. So keep an eye on Sirik come towards the end of the race. He might be able to get himself up into the top 5. But as I just say that, a commentator's curse on Sirik. He's now dropped himself down into 7th place though. What was a great progression for Sirik is now just gone from bad to worse in the first race here at the Honshu Sprint here in Suzuka Circuit.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously you know as well as I do, if you put one tyre off, you're gone skis because all you've got is sand and gravel, and you know as well as I do, sand and gravel isn't very forgiving at any circuit around the world.
New people coming in the chat, so g'day mate. VVG, the main streamer for the main series, sponsored by Elite Brake and Mechanicals, joined us. Dutch as well has joined us as well, so hopefully you guys are enjoying the coverage and hopefully bring some great coverage for you. But as we see here, Oz Soul Reaper drop back a few seconds now. He's now coming to the clutches of Renegade, so Renegade's definitely pulled away from ISR Benjo, and Renegade is going to be right on the back of Oz Soul Reaper's Lexus. So far we've got a Nissan leading the way with 2 Lexuses in 2nd and 3rd place. As you did mention, there are still no takers for the Honda NSX, so I wonder if maybe someone from the It's Racing camp, maybe a formidable It's Racing, might be able to put a Honda NSX in the category.
Yeah, obviously it's a bit of a car to handle, but once you get a handle of it, it is pretty quick. And I was just mucking around in the pre-race lobby in the Honda, and it's a little bit hairy, but once the tyres warm up, it does seem to get a bit pretty settled down. But if you try and throw it through the corners, it'll just spit back out on you. But I did set a fastest lap in it in front of Sirik, but very, very temperamental compared to the Lexus or the Nissan GTR.
It's just the same. How we see the TS2 and the main touring car series, where we see the drivers in the Honda NSX, and basically it's a car that's formidable for having really bad tyre wear. But once you get that car switched on, you can get that car switched on and it'll just fly away. So it will be surprising. Hopefully, someone, maybe when we got registrations coming through thick and fast over the next few weeks, someone might be able to take the Honda. But we're glad to see 8 drivers competing tonight. We had 6 last time out, so we've got an extra 2, which is always great to see in our Trackstars community. And for those that wanted to have a race at around 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Standard Time, not daylight time, standard time. But but as we see, the newcomer Oz Soul Reaper just still fending off from Renegade, so Renegade still can't make a move. And around this track, the Suzuka circuit is definitely a hard track to overtake because there's not many chances. The only chances you could probably think is probably where Sirik had a chance to get a move done at 130R. That's one of the best chances, but you've got a couple of hairpins, but that's really it.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, as I was saying earlier, I gave a bit of commentator's curse there to Benjo because he's dropped down into 6th, which has promoted the M&R boys up into 4th and 5th.
Not going great. He was as high as 4th place. He's now down to 6th.
Oh.
He actually hits Enzalao Cowboy, and does that push Enzalao Cowboy off? No, it doesn't. So that's a bit of a get out of jail card for Isar Benjo. He's just got a little bit too late on the brakes there for Enzalao Cowboy, as we see that replay of the grunt of the V8 power engine. And God, I love the sound of the Lexus SC 430. So it's a great car to see, but he's just got away with it. Just lucky enough that Enzalao Cowboy, otherwise the penalty would have been coming his way.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, we know once you're in a draft, it's can be either pretty lethal or pretty forthcoming for you, because you can either make the position stick or do what happened just then and almost put 2 to 3 cars out of the race. Always.
So Benjo on Enzalao Cowboy. So this is not going to be great. This is definitely not what Enzalao Cowboy wanted. As we see that replay, and just Isa just going in too late there, and he's just pushing kind of like a bump and run there for Isa Benjo. So hopefully there's no retaliation from Enzalao Cowboy, and there is, and there's contact between the two drivers there. So both drivers disagreeing on that front end and saying, well, you've pushed me off, I'm going to push you off. So definitely not what we want to see in the TS3, and it's not what we're trying to promote, boys. But you know, if you have some bit of heated rivalry, just calm it down, because that's not the way to race, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, looks like as you said, a bit of retaliation there from Enzalao Cowboy, and obviously, stuff like that is what we don't want to promote in this series, because that's what will turn races away. So if something happens like that, just shrug it off, make the move stick, and just try and perform better than the person that caused it. But Sirik has moved himself up into 5th place with all this mishaps going on and challenging a top 4, which is really nice to see after that early off.
Yeah, and he starts to look around a bit of an inside move, but this is the S section. There's no way you can get an outside or an inside move. You've got to be patient, wait until you get to Dunlop corner, and then before the Degnus, just waiting up until you get to the hairpin corner. That's the most important part of the track where you can make your overtake stick. But Sirik has just done a great job there. He's had a couple of offs there, especially the big one that he had at 130R, and he's now into the top 5, so he's going to be looking to get himself as high up as 4th place. But again, we see that pack up the front and really clearing away. So the gap between Renegade and SS boys, 25 seconds. So that's a huge gap between the top 3. So these top 3 are just running away with it. And Renegade's still on the tail of Soul Reaper there. So Renegade's doing himself a fantastic job right in the slipstream of Soul Reaper, with only about 3 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Renegade in 3rd and Soul Reaper in 2nd place. So this is going to be a battle towards the finish that's going to take place, and we've got ourselves a fascinating battle, and hopefully these guys can deliver, and they can hopefully provide us some great overtaking and even a great battle to finish to get to the checkered flag.
Exactly, as we just jump back here, and it looks like Sirik has made that move on SS Boy, so see if SS Boy here can fight back to try and get that position back from Sirik. But if it stays like it is with 3 to go at the end of this lap, we might have a 1, 2, 3, 4 as it stays. So hopefully they all keep it on the track and keep going, as Sirik has pulled out a nice 2.5 second gap there to Enzalao Cowboy. As SS Boys dropped down the order here. What's happened here?
So we should see, as we...
It's just...
Yeah, by Sirik, or maybe he did that on his own, and basically he did what Sirik did in the first lap, went a little bit too wide there. And unfortunately for SS Boy, what was a high position in 4th place is now down into 6th place, so losing a couple of positions to Sirik and his teammate in NZL Cowboys. So SS Boy and the M&R boys not having a great first race here at the Honshu Sprint here at Suzuka Circuit, but we see Sirik move himself up into 4th place. He'll take 4th place, whilst we see guys like Warpaths, Soul Reaper and Renegade leading the way, leading the charge. As we see, they're about to lap traffic already, and that's in Heath and Pride for the It's Racing Esports. So Heath and Pride, like you did mention, is getting his way back into sim racing and league racing. But Heath and Pride putting up a great fight there on Warpath. And Warpath, this is not helping his cause, and he's going to actually get held up here as we see his teammate in Soul Reaper getting closer and closer to him. So this is damaging Warpath's chance of victory. As we see right there, it's only about 5/10 here. So this is incredible stuff. So Heath and Pride going all hard out racing, not acknowledging the blue flags there. So Warpath and Soul Reaper having a bit of a tussle there. So what we thought was an Soul Reaper and Renegade battles now turn into a battle for the win.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, having lapped cars, doesn't matter who it is. If you get stuck behind them, it can tarnish your lead, as we see as what's happened here. But that's really unfortunate for Warpath. And I don't know about you, but maybe Heather might not have seen those flags come up on his screen. But either that or he's just trying not to get lapped. But it's unfortunate there for Warpath. But he's pulled that gap out a little bit further. But yeah, it's one to watch, I guess.
Some great action, some great commentary action there that we see. Warpath just trying to negotiate lap traffic, and he couldn't manage to do that. And that 2-second gap between him and Soul Reaper closed down to about 0.5 at one moment. So the lap traffic is causing effects, especially with the dirty air. At least with the older cars, you don't feel much of it in the older cars, but you do feel some sort of dirty air. Bit of downforce wash on the back end, as we see Soul Reaper run a little bit wide there, and he hasn't managed to get that corner executed the way he wanted to. So I believe you're right there. I believe Warpath has just opened that gap up, and I don't think Renegade's closing in that much. So I think the top three is settled, with Sirik in 4th, NZL Cowboy in 5th, Isar Benjo 19 in 6th place, SS Boy 82 in 7th, and rounding up the top 8, Heath and Pride for the S Racing Esports Nissan GTR. So getting those laps in, and one day, well, I guess we all start somewhere, DJ. You know, for Heath and Pride, for example, you take a long break away, a long sabbatical away from the game, and you come into league racing, and of course you might not be the standout on the first race, but it's all about just learning the car, and then learning your opponents, and basically, you know, just at least and hoping, having a bit of fun at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously having a couple of years out and not racing, and obviously the physics in the actual racing between GT5, GT6 and GT Sport, they're all very different. But it's good to see him out there getting some laps in. But you never know. Give him, say, maybe 1 or 2 more rounds and he might be up the front. Obviously, being backed by It's Racing, he does have It's Racing as a mentor there. So he's, I noticed in the pre-race he was helping him out, giving him a few pointers there, just trying to get him pretty well and settled in the Nissan. But yeah, he might be one to watch out for in a couple of rounds.
Exactly. Taking it step by step, but we see Warpath and Soul Reaper still closing that gap in, and he's pushed that gap away from Renegades. So the top 2 is going to be settled by WRT Motorsport and Warpath and Soul Reaper, but it'll just depend on this last couple of corners, and these are the most crucial corners here, 130R and then the Casio chicane coming up towards the back end of the lap. So Warpath will just have to execute it nice and gently, and hopefully not brake too late or brake too early and cut the corner, which is what you don't want when you're coming onto the last lap. But no, he's executed that perfectly. And for the first time here at TS3, it is the WRT Motorsport entry in Warpath 360, taking line honours with Soul Reaper on debut in 2nd place, with Renegade, a nice impressive 3rd place arrest for Renegade there, and Sirik down in 4th place. So what could it be for Sirik, putting in a good fight for the leaders there. So for Sirik in 4th place, he's got lots to learn for race 2 coming up very shortly.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a nice recovery there for Sirik, and he got that gap back down to 23.6, and obviously in setting the fastest lap on that last lap there with a 148.9, that's as much as he couldn't get the podium, I'd be pretty happy with the fastest lap there. As you see, NZL Cowboy and SS Boy about to have a battle here coming into the chicane.
I can definitely fight you guys up the front, and here's my fastest lap to show that. So as we see the M&R boys, a little bit of a lonely race for the M&R boys, having a bit of battle there with Isar Benja. A little bit of heated battle between Isar Benja 19 for NZL Cowboys. They both round up 5th and 6th. with Isar Benja rounding up in 7th place, and Ethan Pride already crossed the line a lap down in 8th place there. So great racing, great 1-2 there for the W.
And yeah, onwards to race 2. We've got a fast.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, that's a
To make sure we get some awesome racing there. But unfortunately, that race 1 is done, and it's Warpath 360 taking the victory, a comfortable victory. I wouldn't say a comfortable victory, but he's taken a really good victory over his teammate in Ozsol Reaper in 1st place there, with Ozsol Reaper in 2nd, Renegade in 3rd, Sirik in 4th, the M&R boys in NZL Cowboy in 5th place, SS Boy 82 in 6th, Isar Benja 19 in 7th, and a lap down, as we'd mentioned, Heath and Pride in 8th place. So awesome racing here for the first race, ladies and gentlemen. We will take a break, about a 5-minute break. So hopefully I can get my microphone sorted out and I can actually hear you, DJ, because I'm always having to unplug my headset in onto the computer.
yeah, exactly. And obviously, we know there's a lot of audio problems here and there with computers and stuff like that. But yeah, as he said, we'll take a quick 5-minute break and we'll be back shortly with race 2 from the Honshu Sprint around Suzuki GP in Trackstars TS3. And we finally got the audio issues sorted out here. So I've got Spudley can hear me and I can hear him, and we're all good to go for race 2 of the TS3 around the beautiful Suzuka circuit. With a hopefully good race to come.
Yeah, exactly right. So now I can actually hear you, DJ, instead of unplugging and plugging in my headset. I can hear you perfectly, loud and clear. So here we are for race 2, here at the Trackstars TS3, round 2 at the Suzuka circuit here for the Honshu Sprint. We're coming up for race 2, another 9-lapper here. So we're going to put our bets in, ladies and gentlemen. So who's going to come out on top of this event? I believe I would say one of the favourites again would be the WRT Motorsport in Warpath and Soul Reaper, but I guess from down in 4th place, you gotta look out for a driver such as Sirik, who's going to be making a charge in 4th place there.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously we've seen him come back from that little bit of a mishap there down at the chicane down there, but nice to see him work himself back up to 4th there, but he'd be definitely one to watch out for in this race.
Lots to play out for, ladies and gentlemen, here for race 2, and hopefully we get ourselves sorted out very shortly. We will be getting also after this, we will be getting our TS2 pre-qualifying sorted underway. So I'm about to just start that right now, about to open up my lobby. So if anyone from the Trackstars is watching the stream, your lobby, TS2 lobby, will be opening up very shortly.
Yeah, and obviously that'll be one to watch out for as well. And obviously you'll get me. I'll be streaming that as well. And you never know, we might be joined by the big boss of Trackstars, Jarman Dallards, or It's Racing in the commentary box. So we'll wait and see if he decides to make a celebrity appearance.
I'm sure he's going to make an appearance. I mean, what's a stream without the big boss himself? So as you see, Miko's joining the room. Maybe not going to race, but he's just going to maybe have a little bit of a watch over. So who knows? But yeah, so hopefully we get ourselves It's Racing in the commentary box as soon as we can, and because he apparently had some troubles with the audio settings beforehand. So hopefully now, this time out, he's actually good to go, and we can definitely get himself in the commentary box to join us. So as we get ourselves ready for race 2, I believe we've got all our drivers set, DJ. So do the honours, take it away.
I believe Benjo is going to the bathroom, so hopefully he comes back quickly. He's lucky because I was about to start it. So as soon as they come back, we'll be going there. So he's obviously got those, got to go for that nervous wee or before the race. That obviously is probably a common thing for most people.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I believe at least for the first race, taken out by Warpath and WRT Motorsport, I have a feeling that this time around, I think it's going to be a battle between Warpath and Sirik for the top 2 there, with Soul Reaper maybe down in 3rd place and Renegade. I mean you can't discount Renegade after a great performance in 3rd place and keeping up with the likes of Warpath and even Soul Reaper. So he'll be one to keep an eye on later on as well.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously these races are very quick for their own class, but as long as they can keep it on track and keep it clean, they'll be good to go. As Benjo's back, now we're just waiting on Renegade. Looks like he's back as well, so we should be able to kick this. Here we go. Yep, he's back. So here we go. We're about to start here for race 2 of the Honshu Sprint in the Trackstars TS3 series around the beautiful Suzuka circuit.
You'd say beautiful. It's a driver's track. It's a driver's track, and it's usually amongst the Formula One drivers. It is a favourite amongst them. So, a very technical. It was originally a fast circuit before, but with the introductions of a slower spoon corner down at the back end of the track, and with the inclusion of the Casio chicane in 1983 to have to slow the cars down, which were getting roughly about 200 kilometers an hour in a GT car. So as we see Warpath and Soul Reaper WRT 1 and 2 with Renegade and Sirik right behind us, and we get ready for the lights to go out, and we get ourselves underway. It's green flag racing, so great start there by Warpath. Initial start, great jump there by Warpath with Renegade tucked in the slipstream behind Warpath. Is he going to go around the outside of Soul Reaper? He does. Does he make that move stick? He has done. So a nice move there by Renegade, promoting himself from 3rd to 2nd place there. So awesome stuff to see as we see down the back there, Isar Benjo and NZL Cowboy having a bit of a shocking start there, at least for NZL Cowboy, and he's actually almost spun the car around. So I'm very unfortunate there for NZL Cowboy. A very shocking start from his end. But we see Heath and Pride move up into 6th place, who's right behind SS Boy 82 in 5th place, but still leading the way. It is Warpath, Renegade, Oz Soul Reaper, and Cyric, the top 4 here at the Trackstars TS3 Championship with SS Boy in 5th. We got ourselves Heath and Pride for the It's Racing Esports, a fan favourite in the Trackstars community, and a friend of It's Racing in 6th place with Benjo 19 from the ISR group in 7th, and NZL Cowboy, as we said, had a bit of a disastrous start down in 8th place.
Oh, he gets a little bit hairy there coming into the hairpin there, but going back on what I said previously in race 1 is try not to get yourself on that grass or that gravel, because it will spit you out and it will take no regrets.
Yeah, it just looks like he just hasn't got himself in the mindset for this second race here. He was so far up on the grid, and then just that initial contact that he had with Benjo, and now in race 2 it's just going from bad to worse from NZL Cowboys. Hopefully he can just get himself, put his head back in the game, and hopefully make some progress towards the top 5.
Yeah, exactly. And impressively here, Heathen's actually pretty close to this front pack, to be honest. So it was
he's doing himself a fantastic job there. So as he did say that, he almost made a little bit of an off there, but he's keeping up with SS Boy, maintaining about a 1.5 gap there between himself and Benjo 19 in 7th place, but still leading the way. Warpath in 1st, Renegade in 2nd, Cyric in 3rd actually, so he's actually moved up ahead of Oz Soul Reaper. So I did call it. It was going to be Cyric versus at least Cyric going to be in the podium position, but is he going to be able to take the win here? We're going to have to find out in 8 laps time, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got ourselves some awesome racing to come for these next 8 laps.
Yeah, exactly, and we all know that Renegade is a fast driver and he can defend his position. So we'll wait and see if he can defend the likelihood of Cyric coming through the pack here. But as long as they keep it clean, keep it fair, we should have some good racing towards the end of this race.
Exactly. So Cyric just right behind Renegade there, coming up towards the hairpin section, and he's not going to make that move. So that's good thinking that's good driving there by Cyric, not making a move down the hairpin, because the hairpin can be a bit of a risky spot to make an overtake. You outbrake yourself, you put someone off, just like Benjo did on NZL Cowboy, and then it's all about the different lines as well. As we see, Cyric gets a little bit of a bump there on Renegade there, so a little bit late braking there for Cyric, not what he wanted, and Renegade just runs that little bit wide, so it must have just rattled him a little bit. So Renegade drops down to 3rd place there, so he got a little bit rattled there, the Renegade, after that hit from Cyric.
Yeah, and obviously if he doesn't give that position back, may have to tell him to redress that. It was Renegade does a big dive down the inside on Cyric.
Oh, he nearly recreated the Urgent Senna and Alan Frost moment there back in 1988 there. So a bit of a close call there between Renegade and Cyric. So I think Renegade just wanted to say, well, you might need to readdress that to me, as we see that he's still trying to make a move there on Cyric there, but unfortunately just hasn't been able to do it.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously I'll play the big boy steward here, but tell Cyric to redress that, because we don't like promoting that kind of racing here, and obviously it's a bit of a gap out there. We can't do the old bump and run there, but see if he listens, and he does redress, which is very nice there.
So great shot, but unfortunately he's lost the position to Oz Soul Reaper there. So I believe Cyric understood, and he's understood that he made that move, and good pick up there, DJ, and you being a series management of Trackstars Racing Series, you making the calls, and the guys and drivers are respecting your calls. So nice job there, buddy.
Yeah, obviously we got to keep it clean here. Renegade runs a little bit wide, but obviously Cyric, being a fast driver like he is, he does redress that position, which will keep him out of that penalty contention there. But obviously he couldn't redress it until he was on a little bit of a straight part of a circuit there, which is good driving by Cyric and respectful driving there. Obviously he comes really close there under brakes again on Renegade.
Ooh, so he almost made it 2 times in a row there. So I think Sirik definitely knows he's the fastest driver out of these three drivers, and he just wants to get close to Warpath 360 there. So needs to be patient. Sirik here, he knows he can make a move coming down towards Casio chicane here. So is Renegade going to defend that inside? He doesn't. So it looks like Sirik, does he go for the move? No, he doesn't. So he's going to stick behind, take a bit of a narrow line, take that narrow line, and hopefully cut across and get yourself a better run onto the main straight here. So Sirik down in third, Renegade in seventh, and Warpath still leading the way in first place. As we did see Heath and Pride as high up as 6, he's now dropped down to 8th, so a little bit unlucky there for Heath and Pride, but it is a learning curve for him. But we see Benjo 19 promote himself up into 5th place there for the ISI Racing Group, the team owner of the ISI Racing Group in 5th place, with SS Boy 82 in 6th, and ZL Cowboy in 7th place.
Yeah, exactly, and that's some nice driving there by them. But looks like Warpath has pulled himself out to 4.2 seconds here, so if he keeps it on track and lets Renegade and Sirik keep fighting, he'll check out for this race win here, and more than likely a round win also at round 2 of the Trackstars TS3 series.
Exactly, so no mistakes for Warpath 360 neither. He knows he can get himself like at least a win for the second time for this evening, but he can't make any mistakes there. He's dropped that gap down to about 4.6 now between himself and Sirik. So Sirik's closing the gap a little bit to Warpath, and he's pushing Renegade to try and say to him, we need to close the gap to Warpath because we need to work together. And you've got to think as well, these guys are teammates, but they're not really acting like teammates. We see Sirik go for an inside move, then Renegade being the bigger man, well, at least you can say the bigger driver, because the Lexus is a big boy, up in second place. It's not letting him go through easy.
Yeah, exactly, but he is in that slipstream contention there, so if I was Sirik here, I'd be looking for that inside move there, and if I was Renegade, I'd be very, very careful, or as he doesn't get enough slipstream there to take up the inside line. So he does a good job in sitting back there, not causing a collision like he did obviously on lap 2, but Renegade still holds that second place from Sirik and also Reaper. But if also Reaper just sits back, just hits his apexes, hits his lines, we may see also Reaper slide through into second place here if either of these guys make a mistake.
He's just got a little bit tail happy there, Sirik, and as he starts to go on for the inside move, does he make that move? No, he doesn't. So this is a great battle for second place, but definitely not what they wanted to get close to Warpath. Warpath is running away with victory, with Renegade 4701 in second, with Sirik in third, and Ossault Reaper in fourth. So this is definitely not what these boys wanted here. They wanted to get themselves up towards the front, and at least with Sirik as well, he wanted to get himself up and challenging Warpath 360 for the win. But I guess in a way you have to go back to that race 1 incident where a little bit too much on the grass at 130R is going to cost you races. We see Renegade 4701 run a little bit wide here, so this is Sirik's chance to go for an inside move. He doesn't make that move. He does. He's actually committed to it, and we see Ossault Reaper go for it. So these guys are still going side by side, but Renegade with the better traction coming up into second place. So this is some great racing we're seeing here, ladies and gentlemen, in the Trackstars TS3 Touring Car Series here at Suzuka Circuit for the Honshu Sprint.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously some very nice and close racing here. No big collisions being caused. Obviously, might have a little bit of rubbing there, but rubbing's racing, I say. But obviously, if you do cause the accident there, you will have to redress that, which is what Sirik did. And as we see here, Sirik does make the position there on Renegade. So
he's made that move. So great start. So as we see that replay there, so good pick up there, DJ, on that. So it was just a nice exit off the spoon curve, and he just got that with ease, and Sirik up into second place with Renegade in third. So we're now we're going to see Sirik check out, but with about 4 laps to go and about a 6.3 to Warpath, I'm not so sure if he's going to be able to close that margin, but hey, never say never. Suzuka GP circuit is one of the hardest tracks to overtake, and it's definitely a great track for getting the lines right. And it's, like I said, it is a driver's track, and if the driver knows it very well, he could definitely close up to Warpath.
yeah, exactly, and as you do say that, he's shaved at least half a second off in about 3 corners, so don't book out Sirik out of this race, because from that time coming down, he's about to set the fastest up as well. So I wouldn't be too set in on that position if I was Warpath, but that gap's spread it out just a little bit more. But he'll be one to watch for the finish of this race as he runs a little bit wide on the stand there and he's hit the wall!
Oh,
Oh,
Sirik,
no.
no! This is not what you needed, son. You were doing so well, and as we see that replay there of that ill-fated moment that Sirik made, just too wide at Deckman 2, and all of a sudden there's a tyre barrier, and you are done. Toast in history.
Oh, that is so unfortunate there for Sirik. Oh,
I think that deserves some big Fs in the chat there, ladies and gentlemen. So we need to get those big Fs for Sirik there. So that was a very unlucky there for Sirik, for the ISAR Motorsport team, who was doing so well to be up into second place, and he was actually, like you said, he was closing the gap to Warpath. But now we've got ourselves a great battle here between Renegade and Soul Reaper. We see Renegade took out third place last time out, and Soul Reaper second in the first race, but these two now swapped around, so it's going to be all up to the driver, and it's all about these guys knowing each other very well after that last race, and hopefully for Renegade he can get himself a high position in second place.
yeah, exactly, and I really feel for Sirik there because that is not a forgiving corner, I tell you, and you run off line by half a tyre and you end up in the wall, which is exactly what's happened. So
Absolutely.
Unfortunate there for Sirik, but even better for Soul Reaper because that does almost guarantee him a podium position there, and maybe even a 1-2 for WLT Racing Team.
And I guess it will have to go on to count back as well, because if the positions stay as they are, with I believe with Renegade in second and Soul Reaper in third, I think it'll maybe go for a count back to qualifying, which in that case it was Soul Reaper the highest placing ahead of Renegade. So Renegade and Soul Reaper, these guys are going to be formidable rivals maybe come towards the back end of the TS3 championship, as we might see Warpath and Sirik maybe become battles, heated rivals there. But as we look down towards the grid, we might want to see where ISAR Benjo is, because he's actually dropped back down into 7th place there. So his day is just going a little bit inconsistent there from Benjo 19, as we see his last lap was 2:12 there. So he must have made a big mistake either in 130R and one of the corners, because that's definitely not what he wants. And because he's going to be making his main series debut in the Elite Brake and Mechanical Trackstars Touring Car Series, it's not giving him much confidence come the big race at 8 PM tonight.
Yeah, and obviously he does have 2 9-lap races here, but you know as well as I do, we've seen that series calendar, and if anyone doesn't know, the Elite Brake and Mechanical Trackstars Racing Series Touring Cars, we do have a 1 race, 38 laps around this place, with 2 compulsory pit stops, with medium tyres being compulsory, and 1 set of softs that you have allowed to use. But it's good to see Benjo there making his debut for the Elite Brake and Mechanical team too, in place of Xiaomi, and our wishes go out to Xiaomi with his newborn that he's got, that he's looking after. So hope all is well with you, buddy, and it'd be good to see you on track as soon as you can get back.
Exactly, we can't wait to see him back on track soon. So as we look up towards that gap is now gone up to 7.2 seconds there, with Renegade still in second, with Soul Reaper in third. I want to know how far Sirik is between him and Soul Reaper. About 11 seconds there, so that's a little bit too late there for Sirik. So what was going to be on for at least a great second position, or maybe even challenging for first place, but just 4th place for Sirik, and yeah, that's gonna dealt a blow in his championship.
Yeah, exactly. As we know that he did win the he did win the round last round at the Nürburgring circuit. So you never know. He may, depending on where Renegade finished. I'm pretty sure he got 3rd, but last round. But SS Boy taking a bit of a shortcut there, man. I'm telling you, your Lexus isn't a Honda, man. Don't make that, mate. Don't turn that thing into a lawnmower.
Exactly. But yeah, no. But looking at the Drivers' Championship, yeah. So Warpath was in 2nd place there, so he was 2nd place at the Nürburgring. So definitely the championship is going to be given to Warpath 360 at the end of the Honshu sprint here for Trackstars TS3. So it will look like, on rough estimates, it will be Warpath 360 taking the lead of the TS3 championship, with I would say probably Sirik would be in 2nd place, and then obviously the new boys, Soul Reaper, will be down towards the back. He'll probably be overtaking Renegade, but Renegade was actually he only did the one race last time out, so Renegade will be moving up a few positions as well. So only the second round, ladies and gentlemen. We've got about 8 rounds to go. We're going to get up to our 10th round until we get to the end of the St. Croix Sea later in December. So just watch this space, and I believe it's going to be a great battle between Warpath and Cyric as we get ourselves on the final lap here. It's going to be this battle here is really intensing as we see a yellow flag there. I wonder if that might be for Heath and Pride there. Yes, it was. So a little bit on. So going his day from bad to worse, but still learning his way around the track, which is great to see from Heath and Pride. Not rage quitting as most people would do when you're in that position. So,
yeah, exactly, and you want to be careful here because he's got Warpath coming up very quickly behind him. Oh, as he just runs off there into the sand, which is unfortunate. So unfortunate for Heathen. He's obviously hasn't raced his track in a long time. I think he did say previously it was about 8 years or something or other like that. So if you haven't raced his track in that long,
wow,
might take you a little bit to get used to it. But
yeah, exactly.
very good showing here by Warpath out here in first, and if he just keeps his head down, hits his marks, doesn't run off track, it looks like he might be getting a clean sweep here at the Honcho Sprint.
Coming around the end of Spoon Corner for the final time, coming up towards the back straight, it is going to be Warpath 360 taking 9 honours here, unless he doesn't make a mistake at 130R. So like I said, 130R and the Casio chicane are the most important corners when it comes to the end of the lap here to get the most time available, the most time you can, and without making any mistakes and running onto that green AstroTurf there. So Warpath is going to execute the final chicane very nicely and very perfect there as we come around the final time for Warpath 360 and WRT Motorsport. It is a clean sweep and the championship lead here at Trackstars TS3 Touring Cars. So congratulations to Warpath and the WRT Motorsport with Renegade a high position in second place there. So take about Renegade for the ISR group in second place with Oz Soul Reaper in third place there. So nice little victory there for Renegade in second place there. As we see Cyric, what could have been a second place or maybe even a contention for first place, has to settle for fourth place at the end of the 9-lap race, at the end of the 2 9-lappers here at the Suzuka circuit in fourth place, where we see SS Boy 82, a nice drive for SS Boy 82 in fifth place there, with Isar Benjo actually making a move on NZL Cowboy in seventh place there. So there's a little bit of inconsistency, as I'd say, with the M&R boys, but hopefully their pace can rack up shortly and they might be able to get themselves in the mix, at least for the top 3.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously a good showing here from Warpath. It'd be definitely one to watch out for the next 8 rounds to come. And as we all know, as we see Benjo come across the line in 6th place, they are going to be the feature race of the Trackstars TS2 and the Elite Breaker Mechanical Touring Cars as well. So wherever they go to, the TS3 will be right there, just like in the Super 2 and Super 3 and the Supercars series in real life. So it's good to see all these entries coming in, and if there is anyone in the chat here that feels like they do want to race and they want to race at 4 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time, jump in, put an entry, do a livery up, and then we'll see you on track with these boys and girls and drivers, and then you can even see if you can take the championship. But do they have drop rounds in this series, I think?
Yes, they have. There are 2 drop rounds here. So this is the second round. So basically round 3 up to round 10, you cannot miss a race, and you won't, and otherwise you might not be able to take the championship unless you win all 8 rounds in a row here. So unless you are a Mint Matt or a Viper Z, you might be able to do it. But if you're not, then at least if you're here for the fun, that's most important. So as we see Warpath 360 taking the win in his Nissan GTR. So far it's 4 out of 4 for the Nissan GTRs here, with the Lexus not far behind in second place and in taking, led by Renegade 4701. Ozsol Reaper on debut in third place. So that's a great debut for Ozsol Reaper and showing his pace with the TS3 boys. So, Cyric in fourth place, a little bit unlucky there to get himself into fourth. He knows he could have been higher up than that. But yeah, unfortunately for him, and it's a bit of a down day for him, as we see as well. It is also SS Boy 82 in fifth place, Isar Benjo in sixth place, and NZL Cowboy in seventh, with Heath and Pride, the last of the runners, in eighth place.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a good showing here by these drivers, having 2 extra drivers this round. So hopefully they can keep racing for the rest of the season. And we see Sirik down there as well with a fastest lapper with a 1:49.4. So good showing by him.
He knows he's a fast driver, but I guess mistakes like around this track here at Suzuka is one of the worst ones to make mistakes at. So very unlucky there for Sirik, but hopefully one to learn for the next fortnight here, where we will be going racing. I believe we were going to be racing at Monza. I think is the next one, which is going to be fascinating. Which I will double check for you before we wrap up the show, before we wrap up the stream. It's actually going to be at Spa. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves the next fortnight. It's going to be at the famous Spa Francorchamps in Belgium, and it's going to be wet, ladies and gentlemen. So, we've forecasted rain. So, forecast rain, TS3. What else? How much worse can it get for these boys?
Oh, you could put them on intermediate or slick tyres if you want to. So maybe we'll see. Might spice it up a little bit in practice.
Yeah, exactly right. So as we wrap up TS3, we thank you so much for tuning in. So stay tuned. Within an hour's time, we'll be broadcasting TS2 with DJ SX Pointed and myself back in the commentary box, and hopefully we get ourselves a guest commentator in It's Racing Jarman Dalitz. But on behalf of the TS3 drivers and from DJ and myself, we'll see you guys in an hour, and we'll see the TS3 back in a fortnight's time at Spa Francorchamps.